Hey everyone, hi, this is Mike. I'm here in Honolulu International Airport. Today I'm supposed to be flying from Honolulu to KIX, Kansai International Airport in Osaka. But due to the Typhoon Jebi, all flights to KIX have been canceled and I have to fly into Nagoya. Now, Nagoya is still quite far from Kansai, and when I talked to the lady at the Delta desk, I asked her if Delta would cover the transportation cost to get back to Osaka, and she said, no, you're all on your own. She said in the cases of natural disaster that you really don't have a, they're not responsible for, covering your costs. So you have the option to switch dates, that you could change to another date without any change fee. However, the problem there is that when I asked her when do they tentatively think that KIX will be open, it's September 11th, which is almost a week away, and they're not even sure on that date either. So I decided that I have to fly because I have to go back to work. Have to work sometime, right? So I'll just have to figure once I touch down how to get to Kyoto. People have said the trains are running, and I thought they were talking about the train between Kansai International Airport and Osaka, but actually they were talking about just the general trains, which is good. And I think that outside of the Kansai area, like in the Tokyo area, was not touched very much by the typhoon. So the trains are running. Hopefully the bullet trains are running, and they're running at least on time, or at least several per hour, so I can get back to Kyoto. My route would be touchdown in Nagoya, which is still outside of the city, and I would have to take a bus or train to get to the Shinkansen, the bullet train station in Nagoya Station, which is probably about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how many people might be waiting. I mean, I saw some of those photos from yesterday of the 2,000 or 3,000 people who were stuck on KIX, that island where the airport is, and they couldn't use the train or they couldn't use the car or bus, so they had to be ferried off, and they could only do like 100 people max or passengers per ferry. So it took a long time. The lines are long. I'm hoping that at Nagoya it's not like that, and that things will be quite smooth, or maybe there are not that many people flying back and forth because of the typhoon, and so it'll be much easier. I mean, it won't be that many people. But I got about a 45 minute to an hour ride to Nagoya Station, and if the bullet trains are running, then it's another 45 minutes to an hour to Kyoto Station, and then from Kyoto Station it's another hour back home. And that's only if things go smoothly and on time. So probably looking at maybe a 3 to 4 hour jaunt back home once I touch down, if the trains are running on schedule and there are enough of them. But we'll see. I just thought I'd check in and just let you know what the update here is. You cannot fly to KIX at least until September 11th, and that's not for sure yet either. The Delta people, they don't have any other source. I thought they would have some special source or some way to know more information than we do, but one of the Delta agents said to me that she saw on CNN that the trains are running, the bullet trains are running, the Shinkansen. So I asked them, doesn't Delta have a more inner line to really what's going on? And they just smiled. So basically, I can get as much information off the television or maybe online as the Delta agents here in Honolulu could get, which is a little bit surprising. I would think they'd have some more information. So probably when I touch down in Nagoya, I will have more of an opportunity to find out more what's going on, and I will, if it's interesting, I will again make a short video about what's going on. Anyway, this is Mike Matsuno here in Honolulu International Airport. It's about 11:24 on September 5th, Wednesday, leaving to Nagoya. Originally to Kansai KIX, but this time leaving to Nagoya, and from Nagoya I'll have to figure out how to get home. Signing off. What I just learned at the desk was that the road that connects the mainland to KIX Island, there is one side of the road that has been open for buses. So yesterday, although you saw in the different papers or articles, there were like 3,000, and another paper said 5,000 people who were stranded on the KIX Airport island. That was incorrect. It was actually 7 7,000 people who were stranded on the KIX Airport island, and they had to be bussed out as well as ferried out. On the ferries, there were only 100 at a time that could go, so you can imagine how long that would take to get 7,000 people out, as well as they finally opened up one side of the road of the highway bridge that runs between the mainland and the KIX Island Airport. And so they were able to bus people out only in one way. So you can imagine how long that took. And because it's a natural disaster, the airlines and KIX Airport are not responsible for tourists or anyone who has to stay overnight in hotels or pay for their transportation. Just like me, I fly into Nagoya, but from Nagoya to Kyoto, which probably is another maybe 15,000 yen, maybe $150 or more. We have to foot our own bill. So those people who were stranded on KIX, and I also heard that the electricity control was in the basement of, I think, one of the buildings with the control tower. And when the water rushed in, not only from the rain, but the waves are just coming over the breakers. They have I heard tall 10-foot breakers, wall protectors, but the water just came over. It flooded the electricity or the electric controls, and that's why most of the buildings didn't have electricity. And that's why you see in some of the articles people were complaining about, there was no air conditioning. It was really hot and humid. They also ran out of food, and so it must have been very, very miserable. What a nightmare for those people who were stranded and stuck on the KIX Airport island. So anyway, 7,000 had to be bussed out or ferried out, and I assume they probably have all left the island now. The tentative date is September 11th, 6 days from now, and that's only a if they can get it done. And knowing the Japanese, it might take even longer because they're much more detailed oriented and they worry about safety. But on the other hand, there's a very efficient side to them when they put their mind to it. So who knows? But tentatively, it's September 11th that KIX will open again. Until then, you'll have to fly into other destinations, whether it's Tokyo or Nagoya or maybe Fukuoka. I asked her why didn't we fly into Itami, Osaka, the domestic line, the domestic airport that also does some international flights, and she said it was just too congested. Just alone with the domestic flights, it was too much. Well, I made it to Nagoya. The plane arrived a little early. The flight was great, but once it came in, I got my bags, did what my friend Jeffrey Nattori said, just to Takyu it, sent it by delivery service. I sent my heaviest bag to Kyoto. It was about 2,800 yen, about $25. But I also just have my small bags, as you can see below here, that I'll take with me. But now from here to the station is another 40-45 minutes. From here, from the airport in Nagoya to the bullet train on Shinkansen station is still 45 minutes. And then from there I gotta buy a ticket and get on the Shinkansen, the bullet train to Kyoto, which is another probably about an hour. And then from there it's another half an hour by Kintetsu, and then it's a taxi ride home. So I'm still looking at another maybe 3 hours looking at. But anyway, I made it to Japan. It's really hot. It's about 82 degrees Fahrenheit, so about 28 degrees Celsius. But the flight was fine, service was great, had a good flight on Delta. Anyway, signing off from here. Well, I made it to Nagoya Station. I hit the rush hour on the train. So the train from Nagoya Airport to Nagoya Station to catch the bullet train, the Shinkansen, took 40 minutes, and we hit rush hour. So the train was packed, a lot of people carrying suitcases. Got here, the walk from that train to the Shinkansen station is a good walk yet. Bought the ticket, and now I'm on the 7:13 p.m. train to Kyoto. That part, getting the ticket was quite fast and easy. That a lot of people were working the ticket booth, the ticket counters, and so I'm on my way. But wow, what a crazy time! Then it's probably I think about 45 minutes to an hour to get to Kyoto. From Kyoto, I'll take another train back. But that's what it is. It's hot. It's about 82 degrees Fahrenheit, 28 degrees centigrade, and it's very humid. That's the hard part. It's very humid. So carrying all the bags that I have here, and I sent the big bag. I just have a couple of small bags, and getting through the rush hour, and just everything is hot. And after a 10-hour flight with a 5-hour time change, it is very quite taxing. So I made it onto the Shinkansen. What a trip! As I just said earlier, what an out-of-the-way place to go. The Nagoya Airport is really called the Central Chubu Airport, which really is not Nagoya. It's about 40 minutes. I think it's south of Nagoya, and it takes you 40 minutes by train to get to the Nagoya station. But you have to transfer to the bullet train if you're going to Kyoto, Osaka, or Tokyo. And then this ride is probably about 50 minutes, I think it is. And then from there, I have another half an hour flight. But wow, and I'm carrying the 3 bags, the smaller bags. But it's still hard when it's rush hour. It's high humidity and hot. The train is packed and crowded, and it's just crazy. Nagoya station is just crazy. But I see other people, other tourists with the big suitcases that they're carrying. I can't believe that. Takubing is the most efficient way to send bags. It's the most efficient, quickest, and for large bags, although it seems like a lot of money, it costs me $25 for the next day's service, quick and fast. For the weight, 50-pound suitcase, it's actually very cheap, I think. So that's what Japan is above the rest of the world when it comes to Takubing, the delivery service. Yamato Neko, the black Kuro Neko. They have other companies. There's, I think, 4 of them that are the main big ones. But again, from the airport too, it's also a little more expensive than just sending at city to city. But I'm happy that I'm on the Shinkansen and that I survived at least this far. I'll get to Kyoto Station, I'll transfer, short walk to the Kintetsu line, and that's another 30 minutes. And then from that Shintanabe Station, it's another taxi ride about 10 minutes to my apartment in Kyoto Nabe. But yeah, it's been an adventure because KIX Airport is closed. I heard from the Delta staff that they will open again September 11, but according to what I just saw on the internet, they might open for domestic flights this coming Friday, day after. I don't know if the international flights will be open at the same time or maybe next week on the 11th as they had predicted. But anyway, this is Mike on the Nozomi 55 from Nagoya to Kyoto. It's 7:15 p.m. and just happy to get this far. Hey everybody, I made it to Kyoto Station. I just got off. It wasn't as long as I thought. It was about 35 minutes from Nagoya Station to Kyoto Station by bullet train. So I'm here. I've got one more train to catch. That's about half an hour. Kintetsu line from Kyoto Station to Kyoto Nabe, where the apartment is. So I'm gonna maybe stop and get something to eat, but I made it, and behind me you can see that train that I was on, the Shinkansen, just left. Signing off here. Well, I made it here to the Kintetsu line, which is another 30-minute ride for me. One more, and then a short taxi ride from there. But this is the transfer point at Kyoto Station from the bullet train, Shinkansen station, to the Kintetsu. Hey, so after that long ride, that long flight from Hawaii to Nagoya, the bullet train, and before I get on the Kintetsu line, I'm having a bowl of udon. It's been a long day. It's 8:05, which is 1 a.m. in Hawaii. Yes, we did eat on the plane, but I guess the cycle is I'm hungry again. But like udon settles the stomach, and I have some rice. So I'm having this special. I think it's called kayaku teishoku, so kayaku rice. I'm not sure. This is the tsune udon, And this is the kayaku rice, some tsukemono, all the water you can drink. This is where it really hits the spot. Slurping is fine in Japan. Wow, that's really good. After I travel, I come back. You know, wherever I come from, I love to eat udon or soba. You know, and the broth. Wow, the broth is kombu and katsu, I think. But that just warms you up. It soothes your stomach and just makes you feel good. And I like to just have rice. This time I got the other rice, the KIX rice. Wow. After being away from Japan so long, and you know, eating the rice outside, you know, in Hawaii and in Alaska. Although in both places I had brought rice cookers there, so the rice cookers are Japanese rice cookers, but still the grain of rice is not as good, as well as, you know, the voltage is different, so it's not the exact same. But in Japan, cannot beat the rice. So, you know, and then this, of course, is what it's called kitsune. It's like deep fried age or tofu. I was never really a fan of it that much, but you know, it's easy to eat and it's like one of the basic staples. It's sweet. The noodles are great. Eating it with the rice. Wow. As they say in Hawaii, broke the mouth. Means that it's so good. And I love the broth of this udon and soba. Wow. That's like paradise. I made it. I finally made it to Kyoto Station. This is the last of the trains. I'm gonna take a short taxi ride, 10 minutes, and I'll be home. Anyway, it's been a long day, but I made it. Let's see, started about 5:45. It's about 8, so about 3.5 hours. But I did stop to eat the udon, so maybe that's half an hour. Anyway, I just wanna say, I did it.